Hello, everyone. Welcome to Introverso Entertainment. Today, in what I'm going to call Open Art News, Open Art News is my news segment for this, which is the central platform for working with generative artificial intelligence at Introverso Entertainment, which is a mixed media company. I can do it all, from the old analog to the newest digital. And this strengthens us mainly because today, artificial intelligence is the next step for CGI. Everything is computer graphics imagery, okay? It's all computer generated images. And now we have three levels: the two-dimensional level, the three-dimensional level, and the generative level, which is a little bit of both. Because if you think about it, the depth and the multi-angle work that we can achieve with the capabilities of the latest Omni models is very similar to having a three-dimensional set, which doesn't mean that it actually is one. So, welcome to the first Open Art News from Introverso Entertainment. Inside OpenArt, we can discover some of the first impressions. Let's remember that on this platform, we have the opportunity to create some things that are automated. For example, the story area. We can create video, images, and also characters. But it's a platform where we can generate and clone voices, and that helps bring the characterization full circle. And with the latest models that they've recently included on the platform, we find that these voices are not just something we would use in our editing workflow, simply adding them in post-production, but we can include them directly in a video and do so consistently across different videos. So the same character always has the same voice. An important overview is that they've added different sections within the music video creation structure so that the video is what we're expecting. Singing videos is for making videos where the character appears to sing. Narrative is where the character will experience a story. Visualizer is a space where we'll create very interesting graphic effects to the rhythm of the music. And lyrics, of course, is the lyrics in the video. These lyrics won't just be a subtitle. It's the entire text incorporated into the image. It's interesting because we can create many videos where the program automatically creates the images by listening to our song and incorporating the lyrics into the video's graphic space. In the explainer video section, there's a new feature that I found very interesting, which is that we can use our own character. In this sense, by using your own character, we can choose from our roster of characters one that we think is the best. And in this sense, let's say it's important because if I have to promote an IP, the best way will be this: using a character. Then there are many automations for creating a script with AI. We have the ability to add music and voices. Another new feature is that we can choose more models. We have OpenArt Photorealistic, we can choose GPT High, we can choose Nano Banana Pro, the regular banana, Flux Context, or Seedream. And of course, if we choose a particular character, so if I choose one of my characters, like this character, what will happen within the selection is that character will appear. If I choose character, it'll be the model OpenArt uses internally to represent that character. There are many more video models to choose from. We can choose Klang 2.6 with audio, which is also very good. We have Vlog, which also has some improvements. We can choose more than one character. Although this isn't that new, we can choose more than one character. We have more visual styles to choose from. New ones. We have a duration of up to 180 seconds, and this applies to everything. There's a much longer duration than there was at the beginning. And of course, then we have the ASMR video, which is mainly for creating these very popular videos. If we go into video, the new features in video are also varied, interesting, and very good. To start, there's an overhaul, meaning a change in the look of the entire interface. So we're going to find first that everything is segmented. You'll see that here. For example, it says create video, edit video as two options, and the home. In the home, we have all these options. And then in create video, we have text to video, image to video, elements to video, and video to video. In edit, we have magic effects, which is a brand new feature, a very new one. It was added a short time ago, and especially for the Christmas season. Then we have add sound effects to video, where we're going to have two audio models. Now we have Morello and audio, which work quite well. Then we have the video upscaler. In video upscaler, we can take our video up to 4K, which is very cool. And we can do that with videos of up to 20 seconds and up to 100 megabytes per file. We can even boost the frames per second up to 120 frames. In particular, I prefer what you get with up to 60 frames, but we can choose between 30, 60, 90, and 120 frames. Lip sync is one of the features that has grown the most in the last month. And here we're going to find a lot of models, including Kling Avatar 2.0, which is very good. But reviewing, we have OpenArt Lip Sync, which is very good. It's excellent, with a price-quality ratio that I recommend. The OmniHuman 1.5, 1.0, HydraFast, Kling, and Creatify Aurora, which is impressive, but it's quite expensive. All the models work very well. I mainly recommend Kling Avatar, OpenArt Lip Sync, and, well, Creatify Aurora if you have enough credits to use. In this section, we'll find that when we choose a model, for example, Kling Avatar, we can choose it in the standard 720p at 24 frames, or in the Pro 1080p 48 FPS, which is crazy. And what's so good about choosing Avatar 2? That the quality ratio is superior in terms of how it moves the character and the background. And I recommend that you try it at least once with an intro, with some file you have there that'll really add value to your work pipeline. Motion was another one of those additions. Let's remember that all these lists, separated and divided into parts, as we are seeing now, are the product of the work of the last month and a half of updates. OpenArt is constantly being updated with the best models, with this company's clear focus on storytelling. And not only that, but they are also very, very, very concerned about the graphical interface so that we have a good workflow within our platform. So, are there going to be changes? Yes, but they are stabilizing. There is already a kind of stability in terms of sections and tools and subdivisions of these tools. In Motion Sync, Kling 2.6 was incorporated. Kling 01 was incorporated. Let's remember that Kling 01 is an impressive tool because it has the ability to understand the context. It's not just a video model, it's a comprehension model that can include different structures to build an idea. Then we have Runway Act 2, the one that became very popular. It was one of the first most popular ones, and OpenArt Motion, which also, from my perspective, OpenArt Motion was one of the first structures they added after Runway Act 2. And I consider it a great job by the team for optimizing open source models. Behind this, I think I don't have the data, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me that we are seeing the One Animate brought to this new flavor. They made many optimization and quantization changes, and it shows. Even so, I think it was a great addition for the price, because honestly, it's quite convenient. And below we have the options. Whenever you choose a model, for example, Kling 01, check if it has options. Here, in this case, it doesn't have them, but if, for example, you choose a model like OpenArt Motion and scroll down, you have options. Okay? Mainly, the options will make the functionality geared towards what you want, and the resolution will be the one you want. Okay? That's the most important thing. Let's move on to Replace Character. This was separated a bit before it was combined in another space, but now Replace Character has its own place, and it's very cool. In Replace Character, we have Kling 01 and OpenArt Replace. They made their own model for this section, improving some models a bit, probably some open source model, but I consider it a good choice and a good competitor to Kling 01. We can replace the character. With another character, we can choose an image that contains that character. And above, of course, we upload a video if we want a video. Creating in this space is trial and error. In all the spaces, it's trial and error. So please, be patient when working with generative intelligence. I'm telling everyone who comes from the same background as me, which is the previous analog digital background, well, you have to come with an open mind to spend credits testing, because there's no other way to understand this. Then we have Restyle Video. In Restyle Video, this is also new and it's very interesting. There are a ton of options to restyle our video. Incredible. And of course, we have the OpenArt Restyle model. Always notice how they've been changing the interface so that in each section, in each work module, growing is always an opportunity and a possibility. Up there will be more models, I can assure you. Right now there's OpenArt Restyle, and below we can choose, obviously, the video we want to change. And here we're going to choose what we want. There are a ton of options to choose from. It's incredible, and it works very well. We have 480p, 720p, and 1080p to choose from. And we can add more or less strength to the restyle work so that we achieve the style consistency we're looking for in our video. If we're making an intro, if we're working on advertising, if we want to make a section of our fictional product that needs this type of restyle, well, great. It will be very useful. A home run from my perspective. And at the very bottom, the last video option is Extend. Here we have two to choose from: Extend Real Motion and Extend Creative. Of course, Real Motion will be geared towards more realistic movement, and Extend Creative more towards the creative side. We have 720p, 1080p, we can include a prompt to guide it, and we have movement that can be slow, medium, or fast. It's a good idea to choose the one that best corresponds to the video you have. In medium or slow will also be correct. But what are we telling the machine? Well, the video I'm giving you, the one I'm providing, moves very fast. Well, we set it to fast, or if the video, is more like slow and defined movements. Well, slow, okay? Okay, that's it for video. For images, there were a ton of super varied new features, but where it really shone was in the incorporation of models. If we go to Create Image, there are a ton of new models that just in the last month were surprising, both for the quality of their incorporation and for their proper functioning. And being on the beta tester side, seeing all the work that was done over the last month to make a popular release compatible with a release that works within the interface so it doesn't become a problem, but a solution. Honestly, kudos, I applaud it. And I also understood a lot about how it works before making this video. Here we can choose to create an image or we can edit an image. When we go into Edit Image, remember that here, the blend board, right, is one of the tools we had before. It's not that the blend board doesn't work correctly. It does. But there are options and features where it's sometimes much better to use Chat to Edit. Chat to Edit has grown a lot in the last 3 months. It has added countless models to work with, including models from Flux, GPT, Gemini, C-Edit, and Quinn. In the case of Chat to Edit, we can iterate, talking with this artificial intelligence, which will also help us build the image. And the tools for each one are different. If we go with Nano Banana, for example, Nano Banana Pro, if I go into Nano Banana Pro and want to add more than one image, up to 4 images, I can. And if I want to select a specific section, I can do that too. So in short, it's a great option for what is iterative editing, that is, step-by-step editing. We have Character. Character 2.0 is the big star of the show. We'll get to that, but in Character there are now new features, like, for example, working with more than one character, with more than 2 characters. We can work, if I remember correctly, in the last update it was up to 4 characters that we can choose from our roster. And by choosing those characters, we'll be able to tag them in the prompt area, and we'll be able to create images that will be based, not on the generic model, on a generic model that we don't know which one it is, but on the one of our choice. We can choose Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana Standard, Seedream 4.0, and 4.5. What I recommend is Nano Banana Pro and Seedream 4.5 are the ones that work best. Why? Because they are quite current in their information structure base for creating images. The star, from my perspective and in my entirely personal opinion, is Nano Banana Pro. In another section, we can also choose the type of quality we want, fast or quality. Obviously, fast will be faster and quality will take longer for each generation, and I always recommend that you please set everything to a single image and create one image at a time. You'll thank me for it. Image upscale, the classic upscale. There were no relevant changes in this one. We have precise, refined, or the creative one. Of course, I recommend the precise one. Then you can train a model in image every time you go to train model. What would training a model be? It's trying to make a structure that we can use as a base. This also, for example, if we want to create a consistent face, if we want to create a consistent character, a consistent object, or a consistent graphic style. This section is going to have an upgrade from what I was told because it's ultra necessary. Now, at the moment, it's a bit, let's say, out of sync with everything else that has grown, but I use it. I have it for my line art style, I have it for Vicky's face when I want to do something, and the object thing is cool because we can create anything from a weapon, a product. It still has its relevance. Of course, it's not, let's say, it's not something that we can't do now with other tools, okay? I know that just as Character 2.0 had a revamp, this is going to have a revamp shortly. So from here, we're going to move on to the star of the news, Character. Character is an improved version of what the previous Character was, 2.0. We can start with an image or with a text description. And the creations we make in 2.0 are compatible with an upgrade. That is, with an update to the previous ones. I updated the Vicky Spells character, and it worked well. Of course, when you go through this process, the costs are different. And we work with a standardization base that surely has to do with some image editing model. It's great. Personally, I was very happy. I worked with up to 3 characters, and the result is impressive. So, to solve narrative consistency, as it was in the beginning, this OpenArt platform became very popular. I felt it was the right one because it had one of the best, if not the best, character creators of its time. So with that said, creating your character here now makes all the sense in the world, and I recommend it. We can create an image with that character. We can review the characters I have to know, which ones are now compatible with the update. We have a very extensive character library that obviously will grow much more now. And we have lip sync character, which is basically trying to do lip sync with our character within the models we already know, which are the OpenArt lip sync, the Avatar 2.0, etc., etc., etc. And in audio, now we can move on to audio. In audio, what do we have? We have create a voiceover, we have clone the voice, we have change the voice. This one here is one of the most interesting new features. Why? Because for me, the voice-to-voice is the one to go with. Voice-to-voice is great, and here we can do voice-to-voice and modify voices so that the acting and performance are even better. This is a game changer for the platform. I'm very happy to have, let's say, to have this in my hands. And of course, the audio library. With that said, is there more? There is more, of course. We have a lot of little things. The gallery, what's new? If you have any doubt about what's new, you go in here and you have it. The tutorial guides, which is where I wanted to get to. The tutorial guides, which have grown and are growing all the time, thanks to Ermin or some guests who are joining in, as is the case with Bob, who has been joining in to make the last 2 he did. They are great. I highly recommend them with the update of what was GPT 1.5 and Character 2. He did that. Let's review the models before I go. The new models we had in the image creation part. Because what I did was a review. Well, let's see the new models we have. As of today, in OpenArt, we have Nano Banana Pro and Standard, Seedream 4.5 and 4.0, GPT Image 1.5 Standard, Kling 01 Image, because besides video, Kling has an image model that's working quite well. Although, I'll be honest, my favorite is Nano Banana Pro, of course. Flux just added Max very recently. We have the 2 Pro, the 2 Flex, and the previous ones, the Flux Context, Max, Context Pro. All the version 1 models are there. We have the Reeve model, the Quinn, the OpenArt photorealistic. So if you want to create a character, let's say that feels very natural, go for this one. The level of detail and naturalness that this model quantization has is amazing. It's really great. The GPT image one, the Hunyuan image 3. The Flux, we also have the older ones, Flux Pro, Flex Dev, Seedream 3.0, the Ideogram version 3, the Imagen 3, the Imagen 4, the Hydream. And then we have a lot of SDXL models, which, well, were our previous models, right? We can go back and create. One thing I'm going to say about the old models, like SD or SDXL, let's see, they are still useful, although they have some issues with naturalness or with the different versions of image quality they can provide. From my perspective, they are still relevant when it comes to finding the look or the feel of our images, okay? Of course they can't edit. Of course they have a lot of problems with hands or with some body parts. But what I do find amazing is that they still have a great quality when it comes to starting the graphic ideas for a project. Having said all that, let's go straight to the end and wrap things up. I thank you for being here with me, and of course, in this number 1 of Open Art News. That's it for now. I wish you much success, an excellent end of the year, and of course, don't stop creating what you want to create. Don't think that a pencil is the thing that creates. You are the ones who create, no matter what tool you use. See you soon, my friends.